relentless in spirit. You're listening to The Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I love this tweet from you, Sagar. You go, property tax is the only issue aside from weed that I have received as much hate for. This is absolute confirmation I am over the target. I think that's been your experience too, Blake?
I mean, I want to be as charitable as possible because
be.
I know we have 350 million people in this country. Plenty of people have a lot of challenges, and we should always avoid any hateful warfare that stereotypes everyone as, all the same. And so it's easy to say like, oh, rich boomers living it up and wanting to go on cruises. I know a lot of people are not doing that. We're getting emails from them where they talk about how hard it is. But we have to avoid generational warfare the other way. And I always want to emphasize, if you're going to just abolish or radically cut property taxes or make special carve-outs, if you're not actually attacking government spending directly, that bill is going to be paid another way, and someone's going to pay that price. And that's attacking them just as much.
Yeah, well, and Sagar, I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond to that, because I'm actually in favor of maybe some ideas where when somebody retires, and maybe it's means tested, maybe we freeze it at a certain rate or something like that. And we'll discuss on the other side when we welcome back National Radio in 2 seconds. All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. We have Saagar Enjeti, the host of Breaking Points. Follow him on X. It's a good follow, I have to say. I often check in. I want to see the contrarian thought. It's really good. Thought-provoking stuff. It's a really good follow. I want to throw a graphic up here just to kind of underscore the point that you guys are making. And this is from Fortune Magazine, 159. It's the age distribution of home buyers and sellers by generation. So you see that weighted really high up at the old boomer, young boomer, and old Xer. Those are the three biggest. Meanwhile, millennials and Gen Zers are lagging far behind. And then there's also this. It's a visual, another one, 163. It shows that boomers make up 50% of the wealth in the country. And then you see those small little slivers of pies for millennials. And frankly, Gen Xers are lagging pretty far behind. Now, I understand boomers are a larger generation, but these are kind of the thoughts that we're exploring, and we're saying, hey, listen, let's give some for Gen Z, or we're going to have a dramatic political revolution in this country, and you're going to get Mamdani-ism all over the place. So we got to find a solution. We got to find a solution. So how about this as a middle ground? If you retire at 65 and you're on fixed income, and it's based on your ability, your income level or whatever, your wealth level, you could freeze it at a certain level, because we are seeing dramatic spikes, maybe not currently this year, but especially after COVID, we saw property values shoot up. We saw reassessments shoot up the amount of property tax elderly on fixed income had to pay. Why can't we find some middle ground there? Or is that the wrong approach?
It's just a little tough, Andrew, because the presumption behind that is that the younger family can also simply just absorb that in there, where, when we're talking about who actually does get automatic inflation-adjusted income, if just to speak quite frankly, it's people who are on Social Security. People on Social Security get the automatic cost of living adjustment, including, by the way, they just got from the One Big Beautiful Bill, 88% of Social Security recipients will now also get it tax-free. So in terms of the amount of money, specifically state-directed money, what you're getting at is that those people actually have much better ability, because of their automatic inflation adjusted tax-free income, to absorb some of the shock that comes, while a younger family, technically can go out there and make more money. But of course, it's very, very difficult in today's job market as well, especially if we look at the wages that track overall inflation, even including CPI inflation. In general, I'm not really for some stuff like that, because we've seen the way that it's played out, let's say, in the state of California, one of the most unaffordable housing markets on the planet, which of course has those frozen property tax rates from the time that people buy, which leads to highly variable problems in the amount that people are paying, very different neighborhoods depending on when you bought, and has explicitly been proven statistically to actually lock a lot of people in housing stock. And I know that can sound a little bit dystopian, but the thing is what Blake and I are trying to say is, look, nobody is advocating for anybody being kicked out of a house, but we are accepting market realities where, yes, with large assessment has also, frankly, quite largely increased your own personal wealth. And if we we look at the history of the United States of America and really at the family unit all across the world, downsizing is just simply one of the facts of life. In many societies across the world, it actually would be viewed at, extremely strange. This idea of, living in large, not palatial home, but even a 3 or a 4 bedroom multi-generational housing is viewed much more, as practical and a solution for avoiding having to put people in elderly homes. And that's simply, part of an American characteristic. But more importantly, what I am trying to do beyond even the specifics that you're trying to lay out is let's not go far in the point of the way that we did with entitlements, which has led to a lot of the way that we are right here. If we abolish property tax, well, we're not going to get rid of schools. We're not going to get rid of police. There has to be other funding vehicles. And especially in states like Florida and Texas, which pride themselves as pro-family states, that's going to have to probably come in the form of a highly regressive sales tax or some other tax which is almost certain to hit the worker and the younger family member, as well as not increasing the amount of housing stock. And so we have to accept certain market realities and others that currently exist in the way that our housing market works and the way that all of these things are funded. And we have to design it so that all of us together can prosper. And you're right, Zohran Mamdani, rent control in a lot of ways is the inverse of rent control, and rent price fixing specifically is the inverse of property tax abolishment, something I'm going to borrow there from Blake. And I think people who are conservative can rightfully ridicule that while not recognizing their own impetus to want that same thing when it benefits themselves.
All right, 20 seconds. Give us your coordinates. How do people follow you, track you, listen to your show, all the things?
Breaking Points on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, Sagar on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you can find me on social media. Thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it.
I want to emphasize, because it created such a passionate reaction. We are not pursuing generational warfare. We're not attacking anyone who owns a home, anyone who's retired. We are reminding people we are all in a country and we have people who have the biggest problems, which are young people, and this would ignite generational warfare to pursue this. And I think we shouldn't do that, and I think Charlie would tell us not to do that.
More debate on this soon. Hour 2 coming up.